Hey, I'm Weekend Gabe, and you're checking out Weekend at Gabe's, and thanks for checking out this latest episode. While you're here, also follow us on these social medias at Weekend Gabe, at Weekend at Gabe's, and also at The Real Sam Crane. Thanks for checking us out.
Joining us now, one of the guests that I've been searching for over half a decade. I've had so many questions. We're not going to get to all of them, but he's driving 88. It's from the other side of the highway, everything in between. It is a pleasure to introduce the Weekend at Gabe's Rockie Fresh joining us.
Yo, what's going on, boss? How you doing?
How's it
Good
going?
evening. How are you, sir?
I'm doing good, man. I'm in Chicago right now, just enjoying time with my family, working on a new album. Everything been good.
Good, man. Thank you
Word.
so much. Thank you so much for giving us your time. We appreciate. There's so much to get into, but I want to first talk about something that's personal to you. Being a father, I think your daughter's now 4 years old. You talk about her a
Yeah.
lot in your interviews. And what is that? I have a 2.5 year old, so going through that toddler
Congratulations.
stage. No, this is the second go
Congratulations.
round. This,
Oh, it's the
this is it.
second go around. Oh, that's what's up. I mean, so you can give me some notes.
The third one might be a little bit more expensive than the second one. That's my
Oh,
my
yeah.
suggestion
Oh,
right
yeah.
now.
So basically, you're telling me to slow it down,
Pump the
Uh
right?
yeah,
Telling me
there's
to
just
pump them brakes.
uh
But
but
but yeah,
but
being
what
a
is
father is dope, man. I love it. Like I love it. It's taught me a lot just about life and just what I'm saying, being responsible, living for somebody else. I mean, I got a real good relationship with my parents, but having your own child just put a lot of different things into perspective and make you appreciate your parents more too when you see all they had to go through to get us, to where we at in life now. So I'm just trying to, get better at it every day, continue to lock in with her, even though she 4, she got just a big personality. So we just adapting and we growing right now. It's a good vibe though.
what is that? What are some real conversations you've had with your 4 year old? Because I've had the best conversations with my oldest son when he was that age, where he would say
Man,
stuff like, "Put me down," or "Don't forget me. I'm
exactly,
important."
exactly. She came down. Honestly, I record like because of COVID, I started recording a lot more at home. And like yesterday, I was working. She came downstairs and was like, "Look, Dad, no more recording, no more songs, no more guests, none of that. It's time to come upstairs." I was like, "Whoa." I guess it must be time to shut it down then if that's how you really like. I can't argue with that. Like so, yeah, that was one of the moments just yesterday. But she always is saying new stuff. She's been going to school since she's like 14 months, so she's just a real outspoken, like expressive kid, and it's just been cool to see. She keep me laughing for sure.
I saw in another interview you talked about using her as an A&R to
Yeah,
check out your music
yeah.
and gauge it. Are you cherishing that now? Because I got a feeling like when she's 13, she could be too cool for school at that point.
Nah, exactly. I'm definitely cherishing it now. She already getting too cool for school. She'll tell me like, "I don't like this song, Daddy." I'm like, "Oh, boy." Yeah,
but it got
she keep it honest already. It ain't like everything I make she loves. So she a trustworthy, honest A&R for sure. But like, yeah, seeing her dance, she even be trying to like freestyle and stuff. Now it's hilarious. Like we got like a lot of different videos of her running up to the mic when I'm not around, imitating me and like mocking what I do. So it's crazy, man. She really into it.
what is the thing that you found out that you love about being a dad? One of them was for me was watching all like the Pixar stuff when my son was about that age. We watched Toy Story 1 through 3
Man.
like on rotation. I know those films from heart, and so there's all these things that I was sort of reintroduced to because of his interest in them. Well, what are some things that you sort of found out that you're like, oh my god, this is amazing?
Believe it or not, I'm gonna say it's the exact same thing. It's like she literally controls the TV most of the time. Like so, I'm rewatching all these different movies and like I'm putting her on stuff that I used to watch. Back when I was a
Right.
kid, seeing her appreciation for it. But also, I think the cool thing too is catching things in the movies that when I was a kid I didn't catch back then because I was just young and seeing the different like hidden little moves that the directors used to put in the movies is pretty cool too. Like so yeah, that's definitely been one of the biggest things I would say. Like is rewatching a lot of my childhood favorites with her and seeing her appreciate them the same way I used to.
That's
Word.
cool. Let's get to some of the music. You've been doing this for a long time. We often talk about the blog era on this show when we have
Yeah,
like PJRTC jump on from Ruby Hornet, and
that's my
we
dog. Yeah,
reminisce about the blog era and what that moment meant. And you were one of the biggest figures in that era, especially here in Chicago. Like I mentioned, Driving 88, The Other Side, Electric Highway, all these great releases before you headed over to Maybach. Talk a little bit about what it was like working with a young Vic Mensa, a young Chance, all these artists from that era. What stands out to you that is that stays close to your heart?
for one, thank you for giving me the love. You know what I'm saying? I appreciate that. As far as with those guys, like man, they like really they really like close people in my career, I should say, like because we got a slight age difference, but at the same time, it's like when I first met Vic, we were so inspired by each other. Like he was one of the most talented rappers that I had ever met, like and still is to this day. And we used to like just freestyle and really feed off each other's energy. Same thing with Chance. He did a lot of shows with me when I first, started doing like sold out shows and stuff like that. He was a part of a lot of the shows. And so with that, to see that growth, it's always something that inspires me. I think like with Chicago, we all have a real competitive mind. So we always looked at each other as friendly competition while still being bros. We still always want to keep taking it to the next level. And as you can see, those guys set the bar like real high with, the moves that they make. So watching them grow, it's like I always knew both of them was gonna be big. But it's just always dope to see it really come to life. And yeah, like they always been an inspiration. I always rock with both of them.
How is transitioning into and I'm gonna call it a transition because it's not like you left the label or it was any bad blood, from what I understand it.
Yeah.
But moving into this next phase of your life, is it just as easy to link with those guys now? Do you find it's like limited access, or is the love still there and it's just link up and freestyle with Vic like usual?
Oh yeah, like Vic on my last project, and also Vic, he just did a 10-year anniversary show for his, or no, it was an 8-year anniversary show for his project Internet Tape. I want to say it was like 2 weeks ago.
Classic, by the way.
Yeah, man, that's a great project. And so I was a part of that project when he dropped it. I actually was a special guest at his show, and we performed our song "Time Is Money" together. But like me and Vic, we locked in. Even with Chance, like I mean, we see each other on a weekend basis. Like it's super love with them. But also it's the same way with a lot of the industry guys. It's like for me, I got my own circle and my own family, my own team. So I spend a lot of time with my own people. But when it comes to those guys, in the same way I feel about them, is like the door is always open. Like we always welcome. They always welcome to pull up. They always welcome to come to the studio. They always welcome to come out with me, and vice versa. So it's just all about like taking them opportunities. But with that being said, we see each other quite often, like more than people would know.
Word.
Yeah.
Word.
I heard you say that you never could have considered or never thought that rapping or being a hip hop artist could be like a thing that could happen,
Yeah.
right? Because school wasn't really your thing as well.
Yeah.
But now that you're 10, 11, 12, 13, however many years deep into it, how often do you reflect and you're like, shit, like this is amazing that all this stuff has happened?
I mean, to be honest, I do it a lot. I got a lot of younger guys around me too. And it's like seeing them, especially in the era now where everything is so accelerated, it's like
Right.
sometimes they really don't understand like how long it takes to really get the things that you want. And it ain't even just for me. It's like I've seen Rick Ross, who obviously was rich enough to sign a bunch of artists that y'all know, but at the same time, it was certain cars, certain what I'm saying, additions to his house that he still had to work to get, even though that sounds like a rich man problem. What I'm saying is like you always checking stuff off your list, but in order to do it, you got to reflect through other times where you had to utilize your adversity and like reach certain plateaus that you wanted to reach before. So I kind of always reflect on it because I go through tough moments too. And I have to reflect on times where it's like, man, I persevered in this situation. And in 3 months, I was able to accomplish this, which, it take that same energy. And I feel like, it's the same way with sports and really anything in life. When you're dealing with them problems, you got to reflect on past when you made it through those situations before. So I reflect on that stuff a lot.
Mm. I heard you refer to your time with MMG, Maybach Music, that kind of as like your college years because you didn't go to college. So that was like one, like, no shade. I'm just saying.
Nah, fact. Nah,
But
fact. Yeah.
but like as your college years, but like reflect on, because you were being part of something that is huge, as big as like the Maybach sound is, during the time you were with them. Was there like sort of an intimidation factor of like, how do I fit into something that's already working? It's kind of like being a player added to the '96 Bulls. Like
Yeah.
they're already like stacked with so much talent, and adding you in. Well, was that ever troublesome to try to figure out like, how do I make a name and a space for myself without being overshadowed?
See, I think like that's the cool thing about like chasing your dreams when you're young. You just got this like real heavy level of confidence that you could just do. You know what I'm saying? Like everything that's going on, you start getting into a rhythm with life, and you just real confident with how you move. And so, with that being said, it's like at that time, like reflecting on it, I feel like I should have been like more like nervous or whatever. But like when it was happening, I really kind of not necessarily expected to sign the MMG, but it was just so much stuff happening around me that people didn't know was going on in social media, that like I had started to build a relationship with all these artists before people knew. So it was like by the time it got announced and I was really around, it's like I knew it was already love between me and Wale. Me and Wale had already toured. People don't know, but I went on the what's the name of the album? He just had his 10-year anniversary for. It's called Ambition. So I opened up for Wale's Ambition tour before I even
Yo,
had
I
Boss.
remember that, dog. I
Yeah,
remember that for real. I was in high school when
yeah,
that album and
yeah.
that tour came out. Yo,
Yeah, so I was a youngin'
incredible.
on that tour, and me and Wale built a relationship from that. So by the time I got around, I was very like focused and just really trying to focus on making a statement with my music and just gain the respect that I felt like I deserved. I really wasn't like, too nervous or thrown off by anything because I saw a lot going into it.
Mm.
Real
And
quick, Sam,
oh,
hang on, Sam.
go ahead.
Do I remember? I don't know if my memory is correct or not, but Diddy was one of the bidding. Bad Boy was up for you too,
Yeah,
right?
definitely. Yep.
And can you detail, now that we're years removed, what was the difference between those deals?
I gotta apologize to Gabe, man.
Um,
He always trying to get the inside scoop on people, man.
No, no, no. These are good questions though. These are good questions. But in all honesty, I've been really like open about those situations. Like with my career too, I always keep it 100 because it's like I always move respectfully with these guys, and they know that like what I speak on is definitely like 100% what it is. So to be honest with you, like the money or any of that really wasn't an issue on either side. It was more so the fact that it was two things. One, MMG was a newer brand, and I wanted to have an imprint on something that was new. I felt like Bad Boy
Right,
it already had
a run.
just an idea of what people thought a Bad Boy artist was. With MMG, I saw more of a like Kanye Rockefeller type of vibe at the time is what we was trying to like really accomplish with that. So that was the first thing. And then the second thing, one of Diddy's partners, they just wasn't in good communication about my situation at a certain point. As far as me and Diddy was really close, like I was going to his house, he was flying me different places, we hanging out and stuff, and basically one of his teammates didn't necessarily know the extent of where we was at. So when me and him first met, it was just kind of awkward. And as far as with Ross's team, we built a brotherhood that we still brothers to this day from the jump. So it was
Right.
more so that too. It was just like a personal thing as far as like the people that I knew I was going to be dealing with outside of Ross. I really felt more comfortable hanging out with them. Whereas like with Diddy, it was like I know I'm not going to be with him every day like this. Like it's Diddy, you know what I'm saying? So it's like I have to have some type of relationship with the team as well, which is advice that I get an artist too. Is like you gotta get cool with these bigger artist teams because that's how a lot of stuff runs. But anyway, yeah, it was just that the outside people, it just made me lean more towards MMG on top of the fact that I was going to do it anyway because I wanted to be a part of a newer situation.
Mm,
Got it.
mm. And moving into this next journey now, like looking towards the future, I absolutely love the last album that came out. I was listening to the song with Vic, to the song with Toby. Do you feel like it's a continuation of where you were in that trajectory that you were on, or do you feel a need to reinvent the sound? I've noticed in these later years you adding a little bit more auto tune to your voice.
Yeah.
How do you feel about that?
I think in reality, like I reached the point finally, and I shouldn't even say finally. I feel like in my career, all the music that I gave people is just what I felt like creating at the time. You know what I'm saying? Like I try to approach everything like how a painter does like a picture, where it's like, you know, you just go into it with an open mind, and it's like as the project continues to evolve, because case in point, like I record pretty much, I say at least 5 times a week. So it's like I'm at a point now where I'm not forcing records. I'm not going into it overthinking the process. It's just more so like I make a lot of songs, the ones that I vibe with and feel like are cohesive as a project. You know, I try to deliver that to the people. And then there's a more in-depth album that I'm working on, which is going to be Electric Highway 2. That's going to have more of a reminiscent feel of some of the old music, because I know that the fans want that. But outside of that, you know, I'm just creating to show people growth and to give people content that's just gonna motivate them to want to go out here and win and be better at their life. And it's like I might choose a lot of different sounds to do it, but at the end of the day, that's the end goal when I go into making this music.
Is that advice that you give younger artists, is to get like work on it to the point where it becomes that like muscle reflex, that it's just something that you do, just like brushing your teeth, and eventually
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, you know, music is interesting because like I got a lot of friends that like play professional sports, and they have to train every day, you know what I'm saying, to stay on point. Me as an artist, I take that same approach. However, I know other artists that make music that, you know what I'm saying, y'all love, that have a way slower process, that really go in and structure out the months and everything that they want to make an album in, and they make great projects. So I feel like my advice is like to always remind people that this is art at the end of the day. And however you want to create it and paint that picture, that's up to you. You just got to live with the fact that everybody not going to understand the picture sometimes. But if you lock in with the people that do appreciate what you do, you could go a long way when you build with that foundation. But it's still art, so it's like create what you want, you know?
I read or saw that you said that you go on YouTube and look for beats. Are you still doing that?
Oh, definitely, definitely. I got a special guest. Say hi.
Oh, hey.
But
hey,
yeah,
that's a Weekend of Games exclusive.
Right.
Is she,
Hey, hold
is
on,
she,
I'm doing interview, Charlie. Come on, go upstairs.
No, I'm not going upstairs. I'm doing some music.
All right, I got you, go upstairs. But anyway, now, wait, what? I forgot the question. Can
oh,
you
you,
ask me one more time?
looking for beats on YouTube. Are you still
Oh yeah,
doing
looking
that?
for beats on YouTube. Yeah, I definitely still do it. I feel like it's a lot of hidden gems on YouTube, and it's a lot of young kids that haven't necessarily been able to do the networking to like actually meet up with artists. And sometimes if you want the right content, you just gotta come find them, you know. So it's like I'm always on YouTube working on stuff and like trying to get beats and, you know, looking for new producers to work with. And I've been pretty good with it too. I've been getting a lot of good artists off of YouTube.
Yeah, they say that I think there was a tweet a while back that some of the greatest producers of this generation, some of the Dr. Dre's of this generation, are still making type beats on YouTube.
Oh yeah, definitely, definitely. And it's mainly the young ones. Like it's kids in high school right now that's making heat, but they just, you know, they ain't been able to go out to the clubs and meet nobody because they not at age, or they haven't been able to be in the studio in LA with their favorite rapper. But that don't mean they don't have the production quality to really pull those things off. And so I try to get to them before, you know, other people do, like, and really bring those sounds to the forefront, them names to the forefront. Wow,
I know you a production head, so it's probably a billion producers if I ask this question about producers. But as far as the younger generation, as far as MCs, who are you checking for in this period of your life?
Younger MCs, man, I don't know. It's a lot of them. I like it's a kid from the same high school as me. His name is Femdot. I went to Horace Flossmoor High School. His name Femdot. I like his music a lot.
Yeah.
It's a kid named Happy Birthday Calvin from Chicago. I work with him a lot. He's on my new album. I think he's a huge sleeper out of Chicago. I mean, I like a lot of the newer stuff too. I like Don Toliver's music. I like Brent Faiyaz. It's just a lot of good music coming out right now. So I try to keep my ear to everything, you know. Like, there's no one select person that I'm listening to more than anybody else. Not to sound cocky, but like I'm making so much music and trying to perfect my own stuff. I listen to myself more than anything, honestly.
Word. Right. Until your daughter tells you to stop, of course.
Oh yeah, tell my daughter to sit down for sure.
I ask her if we can have 5 more minutes with her dad. We're
have
almost
5
done.
more minutes, please? and I'll bring you up some noodles.
Can
Thank
we have
you.
5 more minutes?
She talking about no. Go.
I wanted to ask about this because on on the Fresh Veggies too, you had the dedication record for Nipsey, and you
Oh
guys
yeah.
worked on Lifelong. Can you talk a little bit about what that relationship was like and what his loss meant?
Man, that relationship was super dope. Like that was another person. Like I feel like in my younger years I posted a lot on Instagram, but it was a lot of stuff that people didn't see. And like Nipsey was a person. Like when I was in LA, we just used to pull up on him. Like even the store that he got killed in front of, that's everybody know that's his store, but that's where we used to go get our backwoods from, and like just go up there and just hang out with bro when we was in town. Just had to stop through and say what's up to him. And the last time I saw him was actually when I went to my first Clippers game, and me and him ended up linking up outside before a couple months before he passed, and we talked about doing another record and stuff. And man, it's just like it caught me so off guard, like when I saw the news of that, and then to know what he meant to his city, to know what he meant to the world, to know the agenda that he was trying to push, not just with music, but just as a businessman, like the way he viewed the community, the way that like he even was about health, is just like it was such a huge loss. And then to know him personally, it was like, man, it hit twice as hard. So I still think about that a lot. I think about his family, like it's a crazy situation, and I hate that he had to go out like that.
Mm.
Yeah.
Mm. I and just to continue while we're on that era, how do you look back on that period, like and considering some of the people you work with, Nipsey included, Mac included as well,
Yeah.
who are no longer with us. How do you encapsulate what those 5 to 10 years of music industry life meant?
Man, you really didn't, like we knew we was doing something special, but I always thought these guys would still be here today, you know what I'm saying? So it really make you appreciate just life in a different way too, and appreciate even the times that I spent with them. But also it's like it's a lot to be learned from, the situations that they was in too. And I try to learn from those examples of just how to move out here, you know what I'm saying? Because it's like in the blink of an eye, like it could just happen, and we've seen that happen with a lot of artists, honestly, whether it's from drugs or whether it's from the streets or whatever the case may be. So it's like you got to really move the right way out here, and move as best as you can. Like nobody knowing their day coming, but at the same time, there's certain moves that we can make to try to, give ourselves a little extra time out here. So with that being said, man, like those losses was so big for the world, like it's crazy. I don't think like anybody will ever fully be over that, and to have that time with them, I like I said, I really appreciate having that connection with both of them guys.
Hmm.
Yeah. You mentioned last year that you're working on a documentary on your fatherhood to circle back. Is that still in
Yeah,
the works?
yeah, it's like we did a lot for it already. We're just trying to get it in the right hands, and like I think now, really figuring out a way to bridge the gap, because there's so much stuff that hasn't been filmed to where we at now and covering that time. But I think it's something that later down the line, like once we get a few more things out with the music, that's something that we gonna really start going hard with.
Hmm. Hmm. Right.
And do you apologize for helping Will Denzel Valentine's rap career? Are you
Nah,
gonna apologize for that?
Denzel, my boy. Denzel, my boy. That's funny right there. That's crazy though, because everybody be at me about that. But like now, like bro is I think bro is also a testament as an example of how much I work on the music too though, because it's like he come, you know what I'm saying? He be around me, like we family, we hang out. So it's to the
Right.
point where it's like everybody around me love what I do so much. Bro got a studio in his crib. I go over there and record. I do so many songs in a day. Me and him will just end up doing records like that, because it's just like it's that easy for me. You know what I'm saying? Like it's fun, So and then because he got a platform of his own, he puts out the records, and he able to gain his fan base, and do what he doing. But yeah, I feel like all these hoopers now, a lot of them in the music. Like even Kawhi Leonard dropping an album right now from his
Yeah,
studio.
yeah. Hey, it's some hits on there. He was
Yeah,
curating.
like so they all finding their way like into the culture, and then on the vice versa, it's like we a lot of the rappers are playing basketball now. Even with me, like I'm on top of my game right now in basketball, but it's like you feel me, like and nobody want no smoke with me on the court right now. But now, like so, yeah, I just feel like our lifestyles are so like synonymous. Like it was only a matter of time for that started happening.
Hey, you heard it here first, folks. You do not want to see Rockie Fresh in the 32 on anything. You better lace them Nikes up tight, man,
Right,
because he's taking
extra
angles.
ankle braces, double socks, all that. Bring all your pads.
But before we let you go, you're a huge shoe head. You had to deal with Puma for a while. I don't know if that's still in action, but what are you wearing these days? So what's your shoe of choice?
Man, I got a little bit of everything, man. Like I do humbly, but I do a good mix of, wearing the designer shoes. Like I got into the Line Van. They got a skateboard shoe right now that I really like. But at the same time, I got a lot of plugs over at Nike. So I'm blessed to get a lot of the Nikes and Jordans for free. So I'm
Nice.
still into that like from day one, really. Like that's what you catch me in the most is either some Jordans, some Dunks, some Air Force Ones. Obviously I try to keep it exclusive because I like, having the cool stuff. But my people at Nike and Jordan do a good job of taking care of me. So it's been a lot easier than it used to be.
Word.
Is that the I made it moment when Nike just ships you boxes of shoes
Oh
unannounced?
yeah, that every time, never gets old. It's like, yes, I did something right. I did something right. Maybe didn't get them. Maybe didn't go platinum, but I got these free Nikes though.
You heard it first. Rockie Fresh does not go on the sneakers app. He gets it directly to the house.
Thank God.
Rocky, man, thank you so much for checking with us, and please let the queen know that we appreciate taking time with her dad and stealing you from her.
She's crazy. Man, I appreciate y'all though, for real. Like this is a real dope interview. When I drop music, we gotta chop it up again for sure.
Absolutely.
Listen,
you're welcome back anytime.
For sure, man. Y'all keep going with this, man.
All right, Rockie Fresh joining us on Weekend at Gabe's. Enjoy the rest of your evening. We appreciate it.
Y'all too, man. Y'all have a good one.
Peace. Incredible. Hey, lifelong dream ticked off. You know what I'm saying?
That's amazing. It's so fun. I mean, I was so happy when I was doing a lot of research with other interviews of how laid back he was, and he was exactly the same way with us. And but I love the cameo from his baby too.
We really added something. Yeah, I think that really did add something. I love that.
I think we had our first child on camera. Our first child.
Never. Was that the first child on camera? I don't know about that because I think there was a kid in DJ RTC joint. Hold on.
I don't think so.
I don't know if that's our first child, but if you're willing to go out on that limb, I'm not going to stop you.
I remember him. He was drinking a nice glass of something. It was very artistry, his backdrop. I don't remember if there's children in the shot. And then we also had our first pet this week with Lesage Williams as well.
That's right. So we had a full week. Gabe.
A lot of firsts this week. This was a great week, man. I'm so glad it panned out. Ben was fantastic as well. The Real Ones podcast. Go subscribe to it. Trust me, you won't regret it. Lot of fun and information with his show, and then Rocky as well. So hopefully we'll get him back when the new record drops, whenever that is.
Absolutely.
But yeah, there's another dope week for Weekend at Gabe's.
Another dope week for Weekend at Gabe's. And ladies and gentlemen, next week is just as dope. Coming Tuesday. That is right, Tuesday. Now crack your Sprites. Everybody make a crack Sprite sound. Crack your Sprites because Asar is joining us here in studio, on air, whatever we are. He is joining us to talk about his new record that he is working on right now. Talking about touring, talking about getting on Pigeons and Planes after writing down that he was going to get on Pigeons and Planes at some point. And obviously, that whole episode will be sponsored by Sprite, not because Sprite paid us any money, but because Sprite is currently lining Asar's pockets. So we love to see it. We love to see it. We love to have him on, a true genius of the Chicago scene. So looking forward to it. And he was our only guest for Tuesday. You know, when we book just the one, it's going to be some exclusive stuff.
Exactly. And then Thursday night, we have Atlanta's own Lyric Jones. She's celebrating the 1-year anniversary of her debut album that dropped last year. So we're closer than they appear. So we're gonna be talking with her, and then I think we're still working on a second guest, right?
We got one more guest to be determined, but I promise you guys, it's not gonna be no whack stuff. It's not gonna be anything half-assed. We do one thing whole-assed on this show. So get in tune. Twitch.tv/WeekendGabe. If you're following here, if you need to get up with any of the artists, check out the description. The YouTube's got everything you need, and we will see you on Tuesday night with Asar, man. It's gonna be a big show.
All right, everyone, enjoy the rest of their weekend. Be safe out there. Sam, hit the music.
Hold on, you didn't say the thing.
Don't forget, everyone, to share, support, and show love.
Oh yeah, baby, we out of here.
There we go.
We out of here. I don't know what to do with my hands.
Jazz hands.
I don't know what to do with my hands.
Hey, I'm Weekend Gabe. Thanks for checking out this latest episode of Weekend at Gabe's. Click on any of the links swirling around my head and also hit the subscribe button while you're here. Thanks for checking out us here on YouTube.